Legacy Coins USA presents 3 pennies, 3 different years, 3 completely different secrets. One was born from the smoke of World War II, forged from recycled shell casings, hiding a steel mistake worth $50,000. One was the Denver workhorse, 700 million made, but so badly beaten that a perfect survivor is a $10,000 ghost. And one, the 1956 King, the highest mintage in history, with a tiny Denver letter that transforms pocket change into a $20,000 bidding war. The 1945, the 1953D, the 1956D. Most people scroll past them, but you're not most people. Stay locked, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what your eyes are missing. This is Legacy Coins USA, and this is the difference between 1 cent and a legacy. Let's start for first penny. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just spare change. It's a copper and zinc storyteller from a world on the brink of peace. Over 1.5 billion of these wheaties were minted across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco in 1945, with Philadelphia's billion-plus coins bearing no mint mark, while Denver's 266 million carry a D, and San Francisco's 181 million are marked with an S. This was a penny of transition. After the rusty, unpopular steel cents of 1943, the mint returned to copper, but faced wartime shortages, leading to the shell case cents, pennies made by melting down spent brass shell casings from military firing ranges. That unique alloy gave the 1945 penny its distinctive streaky, woody texture and occasional surface peeling, marking it as a true artifact of World War II resourcefulness. With a weight of 3.11 grams, a 19mm diameter, and a plain edge, its obverse features the right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln, flanked by Liberty and In God We Trust, while the reverse showcases the iconic wheat stalks cradling 1 cent, United States of America, and the Latin motto E Pluribus Unum. The value of a 1945 wheat penny is a wild pendulum that swings from pocket lint to life-changing sums. For a common, well-circulated coin, we're talking pocket change, around 2 to 10 cents for the average brown, worn-out penny. But condition is king. An uncirculated coin, especially one with a vibrant, untouched red RD color, can fetch anywhere from $1 to $5 at the low end. But that's just the start. Mid-grade uncirculated pennies, MS60 to MS65, from Denver can reach $15 to $30, while high-end Philadelphia examples can hit $500. The true rockets are the pristine gems. A Denver penny in MS68 red condition has been valued at $16,000, a Philadelphia MS67 red at $20,000, and at least one 1945 penny-graded MS67 Plus red sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $20,400. That's a 1,000,000% return on a single cent. The 1945 penny's production under wartime constraints made it uniquely prone to mistakes, and those errors can transform a 5-cent coin into a $50,000 plus jackpot. The most sought after is the 1945 steel planchet error. If your 1,945 penny sticks firmly to a magnet, it might be struck on a leftover 1943 zinc-coated steel blank, with an estimated value starting at $50,000. Next is the FS101 double die obverse, DDO, visible under magnification as distinct notching on the R and U of trust on the obverse. Even a circulated specimen can be worth $100, while pristine examples can exceed $1,400. Keep an eye out for repunched mint marks, RPM, on D or S coins, where a second, slightly offset mint mark creates split serifs or an extra curve, adding $20 to $100 plus. There's also the silver experimental planchet error. If your penny weighs 3.61 grams instead of 3.11, it may contain 12% silver and be worth an estimated $20,000. Finally, while common, major lamination flaws and die cracks, where the coin's surface peels or shows a raised line, can still bring $90 to $200 for dramatic examples. However, beware of common woody streaks or surface peeling, which are normal for the shell case alloy and not valuable errors. For collectors, grading is everything. The 70-point Sheldon scale, 1 to 70, is the ruler that measures a penny's journey from pocket warrior to museum piece. Good, G4. Heavy wear, smooth surfaces, but major design elements like Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks are still visible. Fine, F12. Moderate wear, but all letters are clear, and the wheat grain shows some detail. Extremely fine, EF40/XF. Light wear on the highest points, with sharp details and minimal scratches. About uncirculated. -50 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars. Just a trace of wear on Lincoln's cheek or the wheat tips, with much of the original luster intact. Uncirculated. MS62, MS70. No wear at all, with full luster and all details sharp. These are the coins that fetch premium prices. Beyond the numeric grade, color designation is critical. Red, RD for coins with 95% plus original mint luster. Red-brown, RB for 5 to 95% red, and brown, BN for fully toned or tarnished coins. For valuable errors or high-grade coins, professional authentication and grading from PCGS or NGC is essential. It not only verifies authenticity, but also locks in a coin's market value. For the savvy collector, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny offers a thrilling hunt. The key is to look for pristine, uncirculated red, RD, examples, especially those bearing the D or S mint marks. While the San Francisco Mint had the lowest mintage, 181.7 million, their survival rate in high uncirculated grades is actually higher than Denver's, making a gleaming MS66 plus Denver coin a true condition rarity worth the chase. Always check for errors. Keep a 10x loop handy for the FS101 DDO on Philadelphia cents, and a magnet for potential steel planchet treasures. However, beware of common pitfalls. Machine doubling, flat, shelf-like doubling, is not the valuable double die. Plated coins, chromed or zinc-coated 1945 cents made to mimic 1943 steelies, are novelty items, not mint errors. And woody grain texture is a normal shell case characteristic, not a rare variety. For buying or selling, stick to reputable coin dealers, digital platforms, and professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to ensure authenticity and fair pricing. A single 1945 wheat penny is a pocket-sized time capsule, forged from the remnants of war, celebrating the resilience of a nation, and holding the potential for a small fortune. From the quiet clink of a shell casing turned into currency, to the roar of a $20,400 auction gavel, this humble cent tells the story of America's grit, artistry, and the relentless pursuit of value in the smallest of places. Whether you find one in a dusty attic jar or carefully preserved in a velvet-lined case, each 1945 penny is a tangible piece of history, a witness to the end of World War II, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a symbol of the agricultural prosperity that helped rebuild a world. So next time you hold one of these copper legends, look closely. You might just be holding a piece of the past that's worth far more than 1 cent. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Coin number 2. The 1956 wheat penny represents the peaceful, booming mid-century zenith of a coin series born in the turbulence of 1909. While earlier 1940s pennies were wartime survivors stamped on recycled shell casings, the 1956 issues are gleaming monuments to America's unprecedented post-war industrial power. This is the coin that proudly wears the highest mintage of the wheat cent series crown. The Denver Mint unleashed a staggering 1,098,201,100 coins, while Philadelphia added another 420,745,000 for a combined total of over 1.5 billion. It was a penny of peacetime abundance, featuring Victor D. Brenner's iconic dual wheat stalks on the reverse and Lincoln's timeless profile on the obverse, forever enshrining the national mottos Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum. This is the coin that rode in the pockets of a nation building highways, watching the birth of rock and roll, and embracing the atomic age. It is not a wartime relic of scarcity, but a 3.11-gram bronze testament to the era when America's mints could not stamp out enough pennies to satisfy the boom. When we talk value, the 1956 penny is a masterclass in the difference between common and condition rarity. For the 1.5 billion coins that circulated, the story is simple: a few cents of copper value. A well-worn 1956 or 1956D might fetch 2 to 5 cents in a dealer's junk box, or maybe 20 cents in VG condition. But this coin, is a shapeshifter. The second it breaks the gem uncirculated barrier, the game changes. A blazing red, rd Philadelphia coin graded MS66 can command $0.99 $20, and for the king of the 1950s, the 1956D, the ladder climbs fast. MS65 around $30 to $40, and MS66 pushing $50 to $75. But here is the vault-level secret. True gems of MS67 or higher are genuine rarities, with auction records for MS67 red Denver specimens shattering the $16,000 barrier, and, in the case of a perfect PCGS MS67 Plus RD specimen, reaching an astronomical $20,000. This isn't just a coin. It's a lottery ticket hiding in plain sight. A tiny shift in a grader's eye can mean the difference between a 50-cent curiosity and a 5-figure windfall. The market for these top pop pennies is a gladiator arena where registry set collectors battle fiercely, pushing values into the stratosphere for a coin that, at its core, was designed to be thrown into a fountain. The drama of the 1956 penny is magnified under a 10x loop. The most famous and valuable variety is the 1956 D repunched mint mark, RPM, FS501, DD. This is not the common machine doubling that plagues late-date wheat cents. This is a true error where the Denver D was punched onto the working die not once, but twice, leaving a clear, ghostly secondary D nestled slightly offset from the primary. Finding a crisp, uncirculated example of this RPM can turn a $1 coin into a 200-plus treasure. Beyond the RPM, the 1956 series is notorious for die deterioration doubling, DDD, a cheap, worthless lookalike that tricks beginners into thinking they've found a $1 million doubled die, which, unlike the famous 1955, simply does not exist for 1956. The true sleeper hits of 1956 are die chips and cuds, specifically the B error, where a small die chip appears between the B and E of Liberty, adding a $5 to $30 premium. And in the most dramatic twist, the 1956 Proof Planchet, a special 669,384-piece run of mirror-like coins struck in Philadelphia for collectors, is a world unto itself, with deep cameo contrast, examples fetching hundreds of dollars in the highest grades. Grading a 1956 wheat penny is a high-stakes duel with a magnifying glass. With billions struck, where is the enemy of value? The journey from good, G4, where Lincoln's hair is a smooth mound and the wheat stalks are flat, to uncirculated, MS60, is the journey from pocket change to collectible. But for this date, the only grades that matter to the high-end collector are MS65 to MS67 plus. On a 1956, the grader's eye is locked onto 3 high points: Lincoln's cheekbone, the center of his beard, and the delicate lines of the wheat ears. A single, tiny contact mark or a break in the blazing red luster drops a coin from a $1,000 MS67 to a $10 MS65. Color designation is critical. A full red D coin retains 95% plus of its original fiery copper luster, while red-brown RB and brown BN coins fall away sharply in price. The 1956 D is a particularly cruel mistress. Because it was produced in such overwhelming volume, quality control was sloppy, making truly well-struck, mark-free, full red gems, MS67, almost impossible to find. Professional certification from PCGS or NGC is non-negotiable for any 1956 penny you think might be worth more than $20. It's the only way to prove you have a diamond and not just a shiny piece of copper. For the dedicated 1956 collector, this date is all about the Denver High Wire Act and the Proof Sleeper. The Philadelphia, no mint mark coin is the easy entry, perfect for a roll of 50 gleaming BU coins, often sold for $10 to $20 as a set, but with little upside beyond MS66. The 1956 D, however, is the apex predator. It's the highest mintage wheat cent in history, yet it's disproportionately scarce in top gem grades. The savvy collector scours unsearched original bank-wrapped rolls, OBW, for that one coin that escaped the counting machines unscathed. And then there is the 1956 Proof. With a mintage of just 669,384, it is the low mintage hero of the 1956 story, far rarer than the billion-plus business strikes. While common in lower proof grades, PR63, PR65, a deep cameo, DCAM. Proof 1956 is a jaw-dropping sight. A jet black mirror field cradling a frosted white Lincoln head, easily worth $150 plus. The collector must be vigilant against common pitfalls. Zinc rot, green corrosion spots, is a killer on these bronze coins. And cleaned coins, hairlined by harsh polishing, are considered damaged goods in the numismatic world, rendering them worth only bullion copper melt. In the grand, dusty album of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, the 1956 issue occupies a unique throne. It is the last full year of San Francisco's silence. The mint produced no coins from 1956 to 1965, the highest mintage ever recorded at Denver for the series, and a glaring example of post-war America's financial muscle. While it lacks the trenchcoat drama of the 1943 Steely or the deep scars of the Great Depression pennies, the 1956 is a coin of staggering extremes. It is simultaneously the easiest wheat penny to find in your spare change today, thanks to that 1.5 billion mintage, and one of the most difficult to find in a perfect, unmolested state. It reminds us that value in numismatics is rarely about age alone. It is about survival of the fittest. Holding a 1956 DMS 67 red penny is holding a 3.11 gram time capsule of 1950s perfection, a moment frozen in bronze, just as a nation was hitting its stride. It is a coin that whispers a powerful truth. Sometimes the most common thing in the world can become, through the alchemy of condition and rarity, a king's ransom. Coin number 3. The 1953D Lincoln Wheat Penny is the blue-collar workhorse of the early Cold War era, a coin forged in the crucible of the Denver Mint as America transitioned from the battlefields of Korea to the serene lawns of suburbia. While 1945 pennies carried the scars of recycled shell casings and 1956 cents drowned in a sea of overproduction, the 1953D is a study in controlled, rugged abundance. With a mintage of 700,515,000, it was the second highest output of the entire 1953 year, trailing only the Philadelphia issue. This was the penny of the baby boom, the Eisenhower inauguration, and the dawn of television's golden age. It is a coin that jingled in the pockets of men returning from the Korean armistice talks, and children buying penny candy before the rise of shopping malls. The obverse bears the solemn, right-facing profile of Abraham Lincoln, encircled by the unyielding words, "Liberty and in God we trust." The reverse proudly displays the twin Durham wheat stalks flanking 1 cent United States of America and the timeless Latin creed "Is Pluribus Unum." The small, bold D mint mark below the date is the badge of the Mile High City Mint, a facility that pumped out 700 million of these 3.11 gram bronze ambassadors, each one a tiny, copper-colored snapshot of a nation brimming with confidence and the subtle anxiety of the nuclear age. Physically, the 1953D is a paradox. It is both robust and fragile. Composed of the classic bronze alloy, 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc, it tips the scales at precisely 3.11 grams and measures 19.00 millimeters in diameter with a plain edge. Unlike the war-weary shell case alloy of 1944 to 1946, the 1953 planchets were pristine, fresh metal from peacetime production lines. Yet, this purity came with a hidden enemy: improperly annealed planchets. The Denver Mint in 1953 was known for occasional lapses in the heating and cooling process of the blanks, resulting in coins with a distinct wood grain or streaky appearance on the surface. While this is technically a planchet flaw, it is so common on 1953D cents that it is considered a charming, authenticating feature rather than a premium error. Under a loupe, the surface tells a story of industrial haste. Die polishing lines are rampant, and the strike quality varies wildly from sharp and full to softly mushy, particularly on Lincoln's beard and the fine lines of the wheat kernels. This physical inconsistency makes the hunt for a fully struck 1953D a unique challenge, separating the casual stacker from the dedicated numismatist. For the vast majority of circulated specimens, those bearing the honest brown patina of commerce and the smoothness of countless transactions, the value is strictly nominal, typically 2 cents to 25 cents. A solid, extremely fine EF40 example might fetch 1.00 Arster Star Sturst, but this coin is a sleeper, a wolf in sheep's clothing. The ascent begins in mint state. An MS63 red RD coin, bright and shiny but with obvious bag marks, trades around $5.10. The climb steepens sharply at MS65 red, reaching $20. But the true apex, the holy grail of the 1953D, is the gem MS67 red grade. Due to poor quality control, shoddy handling, and massive canvas bags, and that inherent planchet streakiness, a 1953D that is fully struck, mark-free, and dripping with original blazing red luster is a genuine condition rarity. At auction, an MS67 red 1953D has commanded hammer prices exceeding $8 to $10,000, and a perfect MS68 red, should one ever be certified, would be a six-figure event. This is the magic of the D mint mark in the 1950s. Volume was high, but survival of the fittest was brutally low. The 1953D penny is a treasure map of microscopic mistakes, and those who navigate it with a 10x loop can find gold hidden in copper. The most famous and valuable error for this date is the 1953D repunched mint mark, RPM, FS 501. Unlike the later 1956D RPM, the 1953 version is more subtle but unmistakable under magnification, a crisp, secondary D rising like a ghost from the curve of the primary mint mark. Depending on condition, this variety can elevate a $2 coin to $1.75 to $2 to $2.50. Next on the error hit list is the double die obverse, DDO, FS 101. Look closely at the date 1953 and the letters of Liberty. A true DDO will show a distinct split serif and a shelf-like secondary image, easily valued at $1.75 to $400 in uncirculated grades. But the real rogues gallery of 1953D includes the BI die chip error, a tiny raised blob in the B of Liberty worth $5 to $15, and lamination cracks, where the copper surface peels like old paint, a dramatic flaw that can fetch $25 to $100 depending on severity. Beware of the strike doubling or machine doubling that plagues this date. Grading a 1953D Lincoln wheat cent is a test of nerve and optics, a forensic examination of a coin that was often beaten up before it left the mint's swinging doors. The journey from good, G4, to extremely fine, XF40, is a story of wear. Lincoln's cheek and jaw flatten out quickly, and the wheat lines on the reverse become a smooth, indistinct blur. The magic begins at about uncirculated, -50 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars, where traces of original mint red linger in the protected crevices of the letters, a tantalizing hint of what once was. For mint state, MS60 to MS67, the grading focus is unforgiving. The Denver Mint of 1953 was not kind to these coins. The primary evaluation centers on the obverse fields, that vast open space in front of Lincoln's bust. It is a magnet for tiny nicks and contact marks from other 700 million coins. The reverse wheat stalks are the next critical zone. The fine, raised lines of the kernels must be distinct and unbroken. Color is the ultimate dictator of price. Red, or D, means 95% plus of the original, fiery, coppery surface remains. Red-brown, RB, is a compromise, and brown, BN, is the mark of age and atmosphere. A 1953D and MS66 red is a stunning coin. An MS67 red is a certified miracle, a survivor of the Great Denver Bag Rash of 1953. For the modern collector, the 1953D is the gateway gem of the 1950s wheat cent series. It is more accessible and often more affordable than the notoriously overhyped 1955Ss, yet it offers a significantly more rewarding chase than the hyper-abundant 1956D. The key to success in this niche is cherry-picking dealer inventory. Because the 1953D is often lumped into common date bulk bins, a trained eye can spot a blazing MS64 red coin hiding in a dealer's $3 junk box, or even catch a glimpse of that elusive RPM. Provenance matters. Coins with CAC, Certified Acceptance Corporation, green stickers command a 30-50% premium because they have passed a second, stricter review for eye appeal and strike. For those seeking the ultimate trophy, full red or red original bankrolls from the 1950s are the holy grail. These tightly wrapped paper tubes protected a handful of coins from the ravages of time and friction, occasionally yielding a supernova MS66 or better specimen. Remember, The 1953D is not magnetic, unlike the 1943 steel, and it should never be cleaned. A dip in silver polish, or a rub with a cloth, will erase centuries of patina and turn a potential $100 coin into 3 cents of scrap copper in the eyes of a serious collector. In the grand leather-bound album of American numismatic history, the 1953D Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a unique and romantic position. It is the last of the Denver wheat struck before the S Mint temporarily fell silent for a decade. It is a coin that bridges the gritty, hand-to-mouth existence of the immediate post-war years and the sleek, chrome-plated optimism of the late 1950s. Holding a bright, uncirculated 1953D is like holding a piece of Eisenhower's Atoms for Peace era, a quiet, copper-toned reminder that even in an age of hydrogen bombs and suburban sprawl, the humble penny was still the cornerstone of daily commerce. Smash that subscribe button for more hidden coin treasures, and don't blink. Tomorrow's video drops the hammer on a Lincoln penny worth more than your rent.